From 2003 until 2006, I worked for Purpose Driven Ministries in Lake Forest, California, which is only about an hour away from Hollywood. And during my time there, I got to know quite a few celebrities, including a guy that's been in the news quite recently. His name's Charlie Sheen. You may have heard of him. What a lot of people don't realize is that Charlie has actually been attending ExponentialChurch.tv the last couple of weeks. He's just been doing it in disguise so that nobody knows that he's there. And while Charlie's in town, I thought, it'd be great to sit down and actually have an interview with him. And so he's actually here with us today in my office. So Charlie, thank you for being here.
Sure.
Now let's start by clearing the air. You and I had a little bit of a disagreement at one point. Charlie, if you remember, we were at Laguna Beach, and what ended up happening was I had a volleyball with me in the car, and my family was there. We were just sort of hanging out, and all of a sudden we saw Charlie and his family, and they were there as well. His dad Martin, his brother Emilio, his mom was there as well. So we decided to have a little pickup game of volleyball, and it was really, really close. In fact, it came down to the final point, and if you remember right, Charlie, it was going like back and forth, back and forth. It just couldn't end the point. And I would swear at one point I heard you say to your mom, "Trip him," which in fact is what happened. And my family lost.
Oh my God, it's all my mom's fault. Shut up. Shut up. Stop. Move forward.
Well, I know that's not what this interview is about, but I thought maybe we could just get it behind us. I mean, can't you just apologize?
I can't do that right here because that means I have to expose people, and regardless of, what tomfoolery or skullduggery they rolled in with, I can't do that. I don't roll people.
Charlie, you are lying to me, aren't you?
Today, when it's needed to protect my family, absolutely.
Dude, I can't believe that you just won't admit it. I mean, it really hurt, and I can't believe that you would jeopardize our friendship like that.
Back, I didn't know you were gonna take your little ball and go home and punish everybody in the process.
Well, of course I did. I was very offended.
I didn't know you were so sensitive. Sorry if I offended you.
There you go. Thank you for finally admitting that it at least offended me. Hope you enjoyed part 1 of my interview with Charlie Sheen. Part 2 comes up right after this commercial message.
3 rules at ExponentialChurch.tv. No perfect people allowed. The dress code is wear some clothes. And please, no making out in the back row. If you think this doesn't sound like church as usual, you're right. They meet at 10 a.m. in the Regal Cinemas in Harrisburg. Check them out at churchintheregal.com.
Charlie, let's switch gears. I want to talk about your spiritual life. Did your parents ever take you to church when you were a kid?
No.
So you had a pretty rough childhood, and then throughout your adult life, you basically partied like a rock star. Now, was there ever a moment that you thought you might die?
Dying's for fools.
Yeah, but Charlie, you've done enough drugs in your lifetime not to kill just one person. I mean, you've done enough to kill 2.5 men.
Right.
So I know you tried to do some things to fix it. In fact, you were hanging out with Tom Cruise for a while and doing the whole Scientology thing. Why did you eventually end up leaving it?
I don't know, because it was making stuff up.
Yeah, you were sharing some of that with me earlier. That's just so weird. In fact, tell everybody what Tom Cruise said about himself.
I have a different brain, I have a different heart, I have a different, I get tiger blood, man.
Wow, that is weird. What did you say to Tom then?
Change it. Change everything.
And then the weirdest thing happened. Tell everybody what happened next.
Again, I cannot speak about things that are sort of, that's really nobody's business. I think you know the answer to that,
Yeah, I do. You shared it with me earlier. I was hoping you would share it with everybody else, but in any case, what happened after that?
Bored the hell out of me after a while. I was like, okay, let's try something else.
So then it was about that time that some pretty radical people started inviting you to ExponentialChurch.tv, right?
Yeah, like radical people like Sean Penn and Mel Gibson and Colin Farrell and just radical people.
So how did that make you feel?
But occasionally, a giant marquee name comes through on your caller ID and it's like, winning.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Now, you've been coming Exponential for a couple weeks now, and I know it's completely different for you. We've got the rock and music, we've got the cafe area, we've got the great children's program, we've got my messages and the big screen and the creative elements, the light show, the whole 9 yards. What do you think so far?
What's not to love? It's unlike anything you'll ever see.
Well, that's nice of you to say. We certainly do appreciate that. And I understand you had a pretty funny experience the first week that you were with us. Some of the ladies out in the cafe actually recognized you even though you had your disguise on. And I understand they just kept filling up your coffee cup and filling up your coffee cup, filling up. How much coffee did you consume that day?
I probably took more than anybody could survive,
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Wow. Now, I also heard something strange. They said that you asked them to bring more pastries than normal. How much do you want them to bring?
Tons. They're going to actually put it on a scale and be like, little more, little more. Bingo! I'm here to collect.
Okay, but keep in mind we are on a limited budget.
Wow, what does that mean?
It means that... Never mind. we're just happy that you're here and that your life is changing.
It's exciting. It's exciting. I've come back from a place that, you know, people can put labels on it and they can figure all this stuff out. They can try to like normalize it, boring, stupid, you know, and that's fine. But for me, it's I've just answered to a higher calling, and it happened in the blink of an eye, and I'm totally excited by it, you know.
Yeah, I know. In fact, you're so excited that you've become a world-class inviter, like we ask everybody to become. And, you know, it's just exciting. I've seen you bringing people every single week. What is it that you're saying that's getting people here?
Try it once, you will die. Your face will melt off, and your children will weep over your exploded body. Too much.
Yeah, I know. You're kidding, I think. But seriously, what are you saying to get people to come here? You just ask them to try it?
The Nike slogan doesn't say, just try it. Oh, okay. Just try it. No, just do it, man.
You know, that's a really good point.
That's how I roll. I have one speed. I have one gear. Go.
Again, excellent point. You're out doing something that the Bible says to do. You're going. You're sharing your faith. You're inviting people to church with you.
I expose people to magic. I expose them to something they're never otherwise going to see in their boring, normal lives. And I gave that to them.
That's awesome, Charlie. Thanks so much for coming out and doing this interview. One final question for you. Do you have any idea what we could call this new series that we're starting today at exponentialchurch.tv?
Duh. Winning. That's how I roll. Winning. I have one gear. Go. Epic. Winning.
Are you bipolar?
I'm by winning. Win here. Win there. Win. Everywhere. Winner. Absolute victory. Everywhere. Winner. I'm on a quest.
We're gonna win everywhere.
Right every single wrong.
Right every wrong.